a video of what I'm doing in their Thanksgiving bags. Let's just get started. The first book I have here is this Soccer Dreams book. Both my kids are obsessed with sports. My daughter is into baseball, and my son likes soccer. So, yeah. So I try and get, hopefully this will make sense. I try and get my son, hi Deez. I try and get my son, I try and get my kids involved in each other's sport and stuff like that, so they kind of get into each other's sport. Daisy, go! Daisy! Go! So I have 3 soccer books for my son because that's the sport he plays, and I have like 2 baseball books for my daughter because my daughter plays baseball. Hi. So I wanted to get I try and get books for each other's sport. Hi. So, I get my son my daughter soccer books and my son baseball books. But they also do have some of the same sport. So like, my son has 2 soccer books, I think. Yes. My son has 2 soccer books. My son has 2 soccer books, which is the sport he plays, but he also has 2 baseball books because that's the type of sport that his sister plays. And my sister has 2 baseball books, and then she actually has no soccer books. So I try and get each other their sport type book. So like, for example, baseball books for my daughter because she plays baseball, soccer books for my son because he plays soccer. But then I will also try and get my kids each other's type of sport that they play. So like, I'll get my son baseball, some baseball books, and then I'll get my daughter some soccer books because that's the sport that his sister plays. Excuse me. So I try and get books that like sports that each other play, so that they can kind of see what each other plays and what each other's sport is about, if that makes sense. So this will be my daughter's first ever soccer book. It was hard to find a soccer book that was the perfect level for my daughter, but I found it. It's this Soccer Dreams one, so I was super happy when I was able to find this. Even though there'll be no Curious George books in this video, I did want to kind of let you guys know that my daughter has an obsession with treasury books, which you guys will see here in a minute, and
Selena, are you sure?
Hey.
We got this. Grab the orange pen.
And my daughter is obsessed with treasury books. Hi, yes, I know. Haas. So my daughter is getting some Curious George books. She loves Curious George, and I get her the Curious George treasuries, are the type of Curious George books that I give her, because she loves Curious George. I'm trying to do a rule where I give my daughter 3 Curious George books and my son at least 2 Curious George books because they both love Curious George. So I do want to at least give my son at least 1 Curious George book, if not 2, and my daughter get like 3 Curious George books. But my daughter will be receiving some of these Curious George treasury books because she loves them, and my son will as well. Also will be receiving some of the Curious George treasury books because he loves Curious George, even though my daughter is not a Curious George. I mean, not my daughter, my son. Even though my son is not a Curious George fan, I want to get him some Curious George books. So they're both getting some paperback Curious George books, but I did want to both get them Curious George treasury books, so for my daughter and my son. I'm trying to get my daughter at least 3 Curious George books, or at least 3 Curious George treasury books, and then for my son 2 Curious George treasury books, but if not 2, then at least 1 for my son treasury books. And then my son and my daughter are both going to be getting some of the individual paperback individual paperback, and my daughter will be receiving some of the individual hardcover Curious George books. So yeah. Anyway, next, my daughter wants to live on a farm, and so that, but I just don't want to. I don't want to own this, cows, this, that, dogs, all that. We have 4 animals, and I don't need any more animals. So when I saw this Otis book, I had to pick it up for my daughter. I think I got this. It's like about a tractor. It's about a tractor. Who I believe his name is Otis. Yes, Otis. And he'll take your kids along as he does different chores. So like as he would bale of hay, leapfrog bales of hay, and like basically it's just about this tractor who works on a farm, and he gets tired that he sleeps because he does so much work on the farm. So yeah, it's basically just about this tractor named Otis, who does chores and helps around the farm. So I thought my daughter would enjoy this, just to kind of see what it is living a farm life. She wants to live a farm life, but I don't want to, and we already have tons of animals. So I thought, why not get her this? I know she'll enjoy it. I know she'll enjoy it, and that she can know how and what farm life's about, because I don't think she actually realizes what farm life's about. If you guys are seeing the books that I get for my kids, I try and get them books that are their age level, but not too overwhelming. But because I did get my daughter a book before that, I thought, okay, this is cool. But then she did not like it because of how challenging it was. So I always try and get books that are the perfect level for my daughter and my son. I did want to say that my kids, my son and my daughter, they like to swap books back and forth. So when they do, my daughter will give my son harder books that's at his level, because my daughter is more advanced in reading, like at like a 5th, 6th grade level for reading, and then my son, because my son will try. Hi. Ow! Hi. My son will. Ow!
I'm so tired of being loved, and I'm not getting to see my kids because they don't come over hardly. I'm over here to find a book.
But my daughter will trade my son a harder book that's not at his level, and my son will trade one for my daughter that's not at his level, because he is not at my daughter's reading level. So every day, if you guys are kind of seeing a theme in these videos, the books that I get for my son in these videos, they're kind of more harder for him, because I'm trying to get him to be at his sister's level for reading, because I don't like them swapping books right now, because they don't get each other's type of reading level. Like a book will either be too hard for them or too easy for them. So I want my son to be at his sister's reading level before they swap books, because they love to swap books, but they always get like, Mom, I got like this book's too easy or this book's too hard. Partially because but yeah, so. But yeah, I got her and I don't want them to be trained books until they're at the same reading level. So yeah, when they're at the same reading level, I will let them trade books again. But for right now, no. Because my son is not caught up to my daughter's reading level. Anyway, this is just about farm life, and maybe this will get my daughter to kind of know what farm life's about, because I am not going to be a farmer. I'm not going to live on a farm. So maybe she can kind of get an insight of what farm life is about with this book, what it entails, and all that good stuff. So I got her this book. I know she'll enjoy it. She wants to be on a farm and live on a farm and all that. But I think she'll like it. It's a paperback. So I got her that. Another book that I got is my son, or not my son. My daughter is getting a Where the Wild Things Are book. So I wanted my son to have something similar, but not the same thing. I try and get my son and daughter the same thing, but not the exact same thing. Some things are the same, some things are different. But my daughter's getting a Where the Wild Things Are book. So I want to get my son something similar to that book that my daughter's getting, the Where the Wild Things Are. I want to get my daughter something, or not my daughter, my son, something similar to what my daughter's getting, Where the Wild Things Are. So since my daughter is getting that one, I want to give my son something similar, and I stumbled upon this book. I don't know what it's called, but I think he will enjoy it. I think it's by the same author. I'm not totally sure, but I got this for him, and I think they'll both enjoy it. Or he'll enjoy it because his sister's getting a Where the Wild Things Are, so I wanted to kind of get something similar, but not the same. Then, they are both getting a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer book, both my son and my daughter. So for my daughter, I got this Randall the Fastest Reindeer book. My daughter loves reindeer. So when I saw this reindeer book about Randall, I had to get it. Again, all my books I get used unless I tell that they're not used. But they love Rudolph, or not Rudolph, but they do love Rudolph. But my 10-year-old girl is obsessed with reindeer. So I got her this reindeer book for my daughter. Yeah, we do have quite a few of the books with the audio CD. And I try and always get books with the audio CD or DVD or whatever. Because you can never have too many of those books. The books with the audio CD or DVD. So I always pick them up whenever I can. My daughter's getting another one of these type, only it's a fairy one. That you guys might, it's right here. This is. My daughter's also getting this one. It's called The Not Fairy. It has a audio CD. So whenever I see the books that come with audio CDs or DVDs or anything like that, I always get them so that we can either use them in the car, use them while we're traveling, use them when I'm busy, and so that the kids can just watch something or listen to something. So I always pick up books that have audio CD or movie or DVD included because they're the best. So I always get them. I had to pick this one up because it's reindeer. My daughter loves reindeer. So I got her this Randall the Fastest Reindeer. I know she'll love it. She loves reindeer. I know she loves reindeer. Again, thrift store. And I know she'll enjoy it. She loves Rudolph. And they're both getting a Rudolph book. So I thought, why not get this one for my daughter. My daughter will enjoy it. She loves Rudolph. They're both getting a Rudolph book, so I thought, hey, why not get this again? Any book that has audio CDs, DVDs, anything like that, they love. So, or DVDs, I always get them because you can never have too many. So I got this one for my daughter. She loves reindeer. Then I got this. My daughter and son, they're both getting one of these Disney bedtime treasury books. This one is for my son. You get Monsters Inc., Bambi, The Lion King, I think, Toy Story, and then Mickey. This was the only thing this was one that I paid full price for at Walmart. But see, it has all these stories, like all the different stories that I know my boy will like. It does have some girl stories in here too, like stories that I know my girl will like. But my son likes all these stories because they're all up his alley. So I did get this one for my son. Mainly got it because it has some of his favorite stories, like Toy Story and Lion King, and Mickey Mouse, Monsters Inc., Peter Pan, Dalmatians, Donald Duck, Cars, Aladdin, Winnie the Pooh, Pinocchio, Dumbo, Nemo. I got it mainly because of those stories. But this is just a humongous treasury of different stories in it. And they're always wanting me to read them a story, but when I saw that Disney carried these Disney bedtime story books, I got 2 of them for both of my kids. I got this one. Again, I got this from Walmart, and I mainly only picked it up because it had Nemo, Pinocchio, Winnie the Pooh, Aladdin, Donald Duck, Cars, Peter Pan, Dalmatians, Monsters Inc., Mickey Mouse, Bambi, The Lion King, and Toy Story. There are some girl stories in here as well, but I saw this book, I had to get it. It's just a treasury of different stories, and they can, if they want to, because they're always wanting me to read them a story every day or every night. So I thought, why not get them both a treasury book like this? And when I saw that, that Disney had these bedtime treasury books, I picked them out. I got this one for my son, and then I got another one for my daughter. That if they can read this 2 ways, they can either read a story out like they can either read one story out of your day, or to make this book be preserved longer. Well, they can read a page a day, and just read one page every night of a story or whatever. I'm not totally sure what they'll do, but instead of me having to read them a story, I bought them both one of these treasury books. I got my daughter a Disney Princess one, and then I got my son more of like a boyish theme one, which I'm pretty sure my daughter would enjoy. The stories in here as well, but I got this for my daughter, and it just has like some of my son's favorite stories in here, like Cars, like all that. It has some of my son's favorite stories. Then I got 2 of these treasury books. Again, thrift store. When I saw that they had 2 of these, I had to pick them up. My son is not a treasury fan like my daughter is, but I got 2 of these. One for my daughter, one for my son. This one is for my daughter. Basically, this one is for my daughter. My son is obsessed with fairy tale books, so when I saw that, I know he might be a boy, but he loves fairy tales just like his sister. So when I saw this treasury of fairy tales, my son is not a treasury fan, but he does love some fairy tales. I knew I had to get it. It has some really good boy ones and some really good girl ones and story base in here. So got 2 of these. This one's for my daughter. I got another one for my son, and I know they will enjoy it. They love Disney not Disney, fairy tales. And when I saw that they had these exact same day at thrift store, I got them. My son won't really be obsessed with the treasury aspect of it, but he will be obsessed with the fairy tale portion of it. And I also like how this book is kind of more challenging, has more words in it, more vocabulary, and they can also, if they want to, they can read a story out of here a day, or they can read a page out of here a night. The wording's good. They all have it's all famous fairy tales too, like well-known fairy tales. And then of course, but yes, I did get treasury. Now my son's not a treasury fan, but my daughter is. But they both love fairy tales, so it's well-known fairy tales and stuff that I know they will enjoy. So this one's for my daughter. I got another one for my son, and they both love fairy tales. But my son is not a treasury fan, so we'll see how that goes on. But again, they can read a page, a story out of your night, or a book out of a story or a page out of your night. We'll see how it goes. And it's well-known fairy tales that they both know and love, and it's more of a higher vocabulary wordage that my daughter is. So this would be the perfect for her, but it's kind of like more advanced for my son, like more not at the right reading level for him. So that's why I got him this, to kind of improve his reading, since it has multiple stories in it, and I know he'll enjoy it, or I hope so at least.
That makes perfect sense.
So I got them both one. This one's for my daughter. I got another one for my son. They love they love fairy tales. So Then
Okay, thank you very much.
both my kids are getting one of these Rudolph books.
Well,
This one is for my
I wasn't able to come into this room
for my daughter.
5 or 6
Yes, because she's more.
because every time
So here's the other one right here. They're both in one of these Rudolph ones. This one's for my daughter. It's right up her alley. It's the perfect ring level for her.
because I wasn't able to save it. I saved them twice on 2 different illnesses.
And it's vintage too. Perfect ring level. What I used to do, is I used to only give vintage books like this to my daughter. Because I used to know that my son would not enjoy them and he would just rip them up. So anyway, it's a vintage book like this I used to give only to my daughter. But now,
Do you want to tell me more about that?
Well,
I give them to my daughter and my son because they're vintage, and I know that because I gave my son a vintage one time just to see how he would do, and he did amazingly. So any vintage book I do give to him, just like his sister now. Another thing that I did want to mention is that they're both vintage books. If it's a book, he's just like his sister. If it's a book that is already kind of tore up, and I got it tore up when I bought it, then he will preserve the book. He'll put it on his nightstand. He'll put it on his dresser, and he will basically just he'll just have it stand up like this if it's like in like a bad condition, just like his sister. He'll stand it up like on his nightstand or dresser to preserve it, and he won't really use it, just like his sister. His sister does the exact same thing. Again, I don't make them do it, but they just do it to preserve the book, and then they kind of just do it to collect books. They don't do it as like. But yeah. He's exactly like his sister. If it's a book that I got used and it's kind of coming apart and ripping apart, then he does preserve it, and he stands it up on his nightstand or his table or his desk or whatever or what have you. So they're both getting a Rudolph book. This one's for my son. I got him this Rudolph Lessons for Life. They both love Rudolph, so I had to.
We have something really important to discuss as a family.
So that's his. And I got my daughter like a vintage type one, which I know she'll enjoy. What is the copyright on this? Let's see. Does it say?
When I knew I was almost,
1939 or 1976, something like that.
I was thinking everything was
No,
okay.
1967,
But
1939.
when I went into labor, she was probably still on
So I got my daughter that one, and then I got my son
that whole year.
this one.
It's just nonstop pain, it seems like. So one thing I had is when I could come home and give them a hug. And
Then
I probably did
this is my daughter's book. This one is another Disney one, just like my son is getting, but it's a girl theme. It's Princess Bedtime Stories. I got this used again. This is like all different Princess Bedtime Stories, and my daughter loves princess stories. So this just has tons of different princess stories in it.
that may have been
It does repeat some of the different different princesses, but each story is different. And she loves Disney princesses, so when I saw this book, perfect ring level for her, and again, just like her brother, same type of like theme and base, only it like based off of, only it's a Disney princess type book, so it's like not the same as the one that my son is getting, but it's almost the same. Only it's like more girlish and more made for my girl. And she loves all these stories in it, so I had to get this. But yeah, it has couple of the same princess stories, but the stories are different. It has some of the same princess in each story, but all the stories are different. But yeah. And again, just like her brother, she can read a story a night, one story a night, or she can read a page, like just one page a night, and that will preserve it. So got that, and they're both getting a Disney bedtime storybook. Only his says bedtime favorites, hers says princess bedtime stories. So kind of same thing, only more boyish things, and just princess in this one. My son hates princesses, so I knew that the princess one would be perfect for her. If you want to see this book, I'm not going to go deep into. I did get this at, let's see, I got this at, where did I get this? I think, yeah, a thrift store again. Basically, my daughter is obsessed with learning and like learning about science, how things work and all that. So when I saw this book, since it's really educational, I thought I would get it for her. So each, I'm just gonna kind of go this fast. Each little page talks about something different. And then some of the pages have like little interactive thing, like a story you can read, or what else? Like a little phone timeline that you can look at. So each page is a different type of category, but it is really informational on each page. As you can see, each page is really informational. It talks good about that item. And my favorite thing is that it's not over informational, because I did get something like this before for my daughter. And she read it, and she didn't even want to finish it because it was so overpowering, and it has so much stuff in it. She's like, "Mom, this is like too hard for me." So she just gave up. So I thought that this book would be cool, not too hard, but it's her perfect level. Again, that was when she was like 8 when she said that, but yeah. So not every page has it, but there's a lot of information on each page about that specific item or that thing. And then some things have like pull tabs, or flaps, or lift things, or pull, or like pull tabs like this. So it's interactive, but not every page has something interactive in it. Only some pages do. And then some pages also have a did you know fact. So really cool, and I think she'll love learning about different items and different things in today's world. So got her this, and I know she'll love it. She's really into educational stuff and like educational based things, so I got her that.
After an emotional family therapy session, Rhonda is ready to take the first step toward clearing out her hoard. Today, she's meeting
but yeah. Plus it's really educational as well. Plus it's not like one of your like basic books that you get and that talks about like different things. It's kind of interactive as well, which I think she'll like while she also reads it. Then we also have this one. This one I actually paid full price for at Aldi's. This is a really cool thing. Basically, my daughter and son are both obsessed with Mickey and Minnie. So when I saw this, it's pretty heavy, but it's like a little, it's hard. Basically, it has 2 books. It has one about Minnie and one about Mickey.
It's a difficult pattern. I think you have some other activities that are going to take place before a 1,000-piece puzzle can be set out on the table. So how about we let this go, and when you're ready later.
But yeah, basically,
Puzzles are always around. You can always go back and forth.
it has 2 stories in here. It has two stories. It has a Minnie and a Mickey. They both really want a book about Minnie and Mickey. My son is obsessed with Mickey, so of course he's getting the Mickey one. And my daughter is really obsessed with Minnie, so of course she is getting the Minnie one. Their rooms are already my daughter's room is already Minnie Mouse theme, and my son's room is already Mickey Mouse theme. But these are really, really nice books. They're really good. They're actually well illustrated. I love these. I've had this for like 2 years now, and I'm perfect. This is the one that I'm going to be giving it to them. This one's for my daughter. It's a Minnie Mouse because her room is decorated Minnie Mouse, and she's been begging for a Minnie Mouse book. And my son, his room's in Mickey Mouse, so I got him a Mickey Mouse book. They're pretty heavy. Again, I paid full price for this. There's really nice illustrations.
Today, she's joined by professional organizer Emily Wilska.
Illustrations are nice. Wording's nice. It also tells you about her animated filmography. So it tells you about what shows or movies she was in, what year. It gives you a timeline of that. To like from like back then to today, and what year she was on, and then her milestones. So then it tells you about her milestones. This is my daughter's favorite type of book. This is the type of read level that my daughter's on. Like, see. So there's a lot of reading involved, which she loves to read.
You know, I'm really not attached. It's just,
But yes, her room is decorated in Minnie theme. So I'm getting her this Minnie book, and then my son has the Mickey book because he's obsessed with Mickey, and his room's in Mickey theme. And then after you read, then you look at all the different pictures, which I think will be my daughter's favorite. She loves to look at pictures of Minnie, so I know she'll love this. And then it has wording to go along with the pictures. And I see there's tons of photos in here. And then you can read to go along with the pictures. Like, I mean, it's just jam-packed. And then, so that's for my daughter. You read a lot. And then, I like how it gives you a timeline type thing. I like how it gives you a timeline of like what year she was on, and then what type of movie or cartoon or whatever she was on. And then after you read all of that, which is a lot of reading, then you move back to the pictures, which I think she'll love to look at all the Minnie Mouse pictures from back in the day and today and all that. And then some pictures also have a wording that goes along with them, and all that, or not a wording, a thing to read. So my daughter is obsessed with Minnie. Her room's in Minnie, so that's for her. And then I also did and then this one that was the art of Walt Disney's Minnie Mouse, and this one is the Road of Mickey Mouse. So what I liked about this set is that it came with a Mickey book, a Minnie book, and a Mickey book. Usually, when I was trying to find these, because one of the things that I didn't want to get my kids for Christmas or not Christmas, Thanksgiving bags was was a Minnie book. I want to get a Minnie book for my daughter and a Mickey book for my son because they both love Minnie and Mickey. Well, when I saw that this set came with a Minnie and a Mickey book, I had to get it because every time I went to a couple stores to find a Minnie and a Mickey book, and then I found this boxed set. I was super happy that I did. Now this is the type of book that I'm looking for my son. first it gives you some photos, just like it does with the mini one. And then, just like the mini one, it tells you the timeline, or the filmography, as they call it. So it tells you the dates reflect U.S. release or air date unless otherwise noted. So basically, what they mean by that, I think, is that it tells you what movie, what TV show, what cartoon they were in. And it will tell you, like, if it's a cartoon short. Well, lots of these were cartoon shorts. So, cartoon shorts. And then it will basically tell you. And see, if you can tell, there's a number on each of these. So, it tells you what. So, the number corresponds with the number right here. So, that's Steamboat Willie, for example. It was a short. And then it will tell you what date. What the delivery date was, and then when it was released. So that's really cool, just like the mini book. So it tells you that, just like the mini book gives you the timeline. Only this one actually has a lot more timeline pages than this one. The mini book actually has only 2 pages of the timeline. Wow, it has more. This has the Mickey book has way more filmography book pages than the mini one had. And then this is what I was looking for my son. Words, lots of words. He's not at this stage yet where he can read all these words. So this is what I was looking for. This is how he'll be able to. That's why I'm also trying to get him like a lot of books like that, and like this, to kind of up his reading, so that my kids can swap books, because I'm not allowing them to swap books right now because they aren't at the same reading level, and they won't be understanding both of each other's reading level books. I stopped letting them swap books a couple months ago, weeks ago, because I didn't want them to be trading books when one of them would be getting a more easier book, and then one of them would be getting a more harder book for their level. So when I see my 10-year-old, I mean, not my 10-year-old, my 9-year-old boy being able to read all this, then I know that he'll be able to swap books again with his sister. So we read all that. Seems like it's a lot more. It seems like you read a lot more than you do with the And see, it says it in parts. And then see, and now you are in the Mickey gallery. So all these are just Mickey photos. And I know he'll love looking at the Mickey photos, just like my daughter will like looking through the mini photos. And you know how this book, when you're on a new chapter or whatever, not chapter, it will tell you, if I can find it, it will tell you what part of the book you're on and then what type it says. With the mini book, it will tell you, for example, it will tell you this. It will say section 2. The Mickey one says part 2 or whatever. So I got both of these for the mini one for my daughter, Mickey one for my son, and then once my son is finished with the Mickey and reading all that, the big words, he'll be able to move on with swapping books with his sister. I wanted at least one children's book for my son, and I found the perfect one, this one. So perfect. I was super happy when I was able to find 2 of these books, Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse. Excuse me. Books. This is the real level that my daughter is at. This is not the real level that my son's at. So once he masters that, then I will know that they'll be able to swap books again. But for now, no. Then what stood me what stood this box or book set out more than anything else is it comes with posters. Six posters inside. Inside, find 6 lovely posters that feature Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse in a variety of art styles, as unique and different as the artists themselves. So, basically, since this has 6 posters in them, come on. Oh my gosh. Sorry. This has 6 posters in it. It tells you who's the artist who made them and what the copyright of these are. So they are 2018 copyright. But since there are 6 in this pack of these really nice illustrated photos / posters, I will be giving 3 to each of my kids, 3 to my 10-year-old girl, and then 3 to my 9-year-old boy. The illustrations are really nice, and they can hang them up both in their room. Daisy May. Super happy when I found that box set. You can never find any box set like this, and see it even shows you some photos on the back. Does it show that with the Mickey one? Okay, yes it does. Or no, it doesn't. I mean, yes it does. But I still like the back of the Minnie one more than the Mickey one.
Benny did such a good job today, and he was so open to doing things that he wasn't really open to in the initial stages. He went with the flow as things went along. I was a little worried when we ended up with a lot of things on the front lawn, but he really weathered that very well, so I was very excited. Okay, Benny.
Super happy when I was able to find that box set, because really was I ever able to find that box set of hardcover books like this, and you get a Minnie and a Mickey one, plus 3 posters in here. Ooh. Then we have one of these recorded storybooks. I think this from a thrift store. I'm not totally sure. My son has quite a few Thomas and Friends books and toys. My son loves Thomas, and he does have quite a few of the Thomas books. So when I saw this recorded storybook, Goodnight Little Engine, I knew I had to get it. My son is obsessed with any books that you can record where you can record your voice. And when I saw this, record your voice, read this keepsake book, I can record my voice in it. What's cool about this is that you can record your voice. It says Thomas and Friends. My son has one of these, has some of the Thomas and Friends toys and books, and he loves them. But the thing is, my son does not have any of these recorded storybooks. Only my daughter. My daughter has only one of these recorded storybooks, and she loves it. So I want to get one for my son. My son loves Thomas the Train, so I got him a Thomas the Train recorded storybook. Then my daughter loves Dr. Seuss, and my son and daughter, they're both getting some Dr. Seuss books. Daisy May. But my son and daughter are both getting some Dr. Seuss books. So for my daughter, I got this Hatful of Seuss book. This has 5 stories in it, and my daughter loves any book that my daughter again loves treasuries. So when I saw this book of 5 stories, 5, I had to get it. My daughter does not have any of these stories, so when I saw that all of these 5 stories came in this book, I knew I had to get it. It's just a big treasury of just all 5 of those stories. So my daughter does not have any of these stories in this book. She used to, but now she doesn't. So I was super happy when I found this treasury of 5 Dr. Seuss stories, and I know she'll love it. It's packed with stories. And then my daughter is obsessed with this All the Places You'll Go book, so I got her it because we lost it in the move, and then this was her favorite book. And she said if the All the Places You'll Go book is the only thing that I get for Christmas, I'll be happy. So I was able to find it. This was this I was super happy to find in good condition, and I know she'll be happy because this was her favorite book. And even though saying that this would be her favorite thing to get for Christmas, I got for her, so I had to get it. I know she'll love it. So I got her this, and even though saying that it could be the only thing that she got for Christmas, I got her all the places you'll go. Plus, it's really nicely illustrated. I found it in not perfect condition, but in really good condition. And she loved this book. I was super happy when I found it because saying that if that's the only book that she'll be happy. So I was able to find it for her. I know she'll love it. She lost it in the move. It was her favorite. It was her favorite Dr. Seuss book, and she cried after she lost it. So I was super happy when I found it. Again, not perfect condition, but she won't care if it's at least in excellent condition, or not at least good condition. Then I don't think she'll care. Then we have the last 3. First one, they love Richard Scarry. Both my son and my daughter are getting these Richard Scarry books. My daughter and son, they already have some of the Richard Scarry books and they love them. My daughter is getting this Busy Road one because my daughter boy wants to go to Germany, I believe. Yes, Germany. Or no, Paris. To see the Eiffel Tower, but I'm not going there. I already said I'm not going there. We'll move to a different state, but I'm not going to Paris, Australia, any of that. So when I saw this book for my daughter, this Busy Road, you learn about you learn about all these different countries in this book. And I was super happy when I found this book because it says hop aboard and learn and read about 33 different countries. So you learn about all these countries. So when I saw this book, it takes you to different countries, kind of tells you what they do in different countries and all that. Perfect level for my daughter, and I know that she'll love it. Again, I'm not taking her to any other to any other store or anything or not store, country. I'll take her to a different state and live there, but I'm not taking her to a different country. So super happy when I found a Busy Road book because I was super happy. They do have Richard Scarry books. So I was happy when I found another one because they were requesting Richard Scarry books. So I was able to find Busy Road for her and my daughter. And I like how it's pretty thick. And it kind of tells you about different states and countries and I know this is not a Richard Scarry book, but my son is obsessed with these Person Dimley books. So I got him one. Again, whenever I see them, I always get them because they're his favorite. Again, since it's in this condition, he'll just prop it up on his nightstand. He loves the Person Dimleys, so I found him another one for his collection. And it has a lot of different animals in it. Again, it's a book that he'll just hang up. Not hang up, put up. So, got him that. He loves any of the Person Dimley books. So when I found a Person Dimley book for him, I had to get it. So, You Cannot Be Person Dimly, and again, whenever I see them, I pick them up because they're hard to find.
His family got the first shocking glimpse of how their grandpa was living.
And then I got one of these Magic School Bus hardcover books by Scholastic. This was one of the books that these were the first brand of books that my daughter was on. Or not my daughter, yeah, my daughter. My daughter was on, and my son. They were, it was Scholastic, beginner readers, and then Usborne. But my son, all the paperback picture books about Magic School Bus that were my daughter's, I'm now transferring her to the Magic School Bus chapter books. But when I found this hardcover Magic School Bus, I knew I had to get it. I love how they have educational stuff in them, so they're actually learning. I just don't feel like learning to them. It has educational stuff in it. It has fun stuff. It has all the cool things you can imagine in these type of books. All the Magic, here, I'll try and describe this. All the Magic School Bus picture books that were my daughter's are now giving to my son. My son really likes them. Well, short story on that, my son still loves them. Well, I'm not giving my son any of the Magic School Bus chapter books until he is at least 11, 12, 13 years of age. So when I saw this Magic School Bus Rainforest book, this is the only Magic School Bus book that's a picture book that I'm giving to my daughter besides her chapter books. Again, you can never find any of the Magic School Bus picture hardcover books. So whenever I found this one, I had to pick it up just for my daughter. I love the educational value that you learn in these. So yeah, perfect. But yeah. So.
Ordering it really does get high, but sometimes can last a day, sometimes can last more than a week.
And the Richard Scarry book that my son is getting is this Busy Busy Town one. Again, not as advanced as the Busy Busy World that my daughter requested, and she wants to go to different countries. So when I found this one, this Busy Busy Road one, I thought she would love it. Plus, it's right up her alley. Well, anyway, getting back to this, I got my son this Busy Town one, perfect level for him. And I love this. And I think he'll like to learn about what people do and what people do daily and all that. So I found this one for him. They already have a huge Richard Scarry collection already, but you can never have her to have another one, or yeah, another one. So I found a Richard Scarry Cars and Trucks and Things That Go book. This book, I'm super happy that I found. This was used, so it is really ripped, but I think they'll at least enjoy it just to kind of look at the photos. And my son's favorite car in this one is what car is his favorite? The cheese one. And my daughter really likes the pickle car, and she loves the banana car. Any food one she loves, or what's it called? Banana Mobile. That's what it's called. So I did get this one for my son. I got it also for my daughter as well. So they're both going to be getting one of these Richard Scarry Cars and Trucks and Things That Go book. because they both love it and they both wanted one. Only my sons will be in a worse conditions than my daughters. My daughters will be in a better condition than my sons. But I don't think they'll care. They love Richard Scarry, so they'll both be getting one of these Richard Scarry books, cards and tricks and things that go.
So he used to have these. I've got actually probably 2 of these, and I like to have this kind of stuff because it
Book. And then, because you can never have too many of those. I mean, yes, my sons will be in worse conditions than my daughters. My daughters will be in better condition than my sons. But I want to get them another Richard Scarry one, and that's probably one of their favorite Richard Scarry books are the cards and tricks and things that go book. So yeah, it's a wait. Is it a golden book? It is a golden book. Yep, it's a golden book. We love golden books. Then we have 2 more. My daughter is requesting a Peppa Pig book. She loves Peppa Pig. She already has a couple Peppa Pig books already. Only it's a Christmas related one. So I got her Peppa Pig and the Lost Christmas List. She loves Peppa Pig, and it's like Christmas themed. So I had to get this for her. She actually was requesting a Peppa Pig Christmas book. So I found that. Really happy that I found that because it's really hard to find Peppa Pig. So whenever I find them again, I pick them up. Because she loves Peppa Pig, and she still watches Peppa Pig. And then I also got for my daughter this My Brave Year First book. She has the treasury of this, and she loves it. My daughter, so I got her this My First Year of book. It still kind of goes through like my first year of this, my first year of that type things. And since she likes the treasury, I wanted to pick her up the book of it. And it's not like she's just requesting it per se, but it's still one that I know she'll love, and she loves the whole collection of these type of books. So she already has the treasury that has multiple stories in it. So I got her My Brave Year First.
The 3 brothers have been scouring surrounding neighborhoods for the better part of 2 decades.
So I know she'll love it.